Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz. I'll be guiding you on this journey today. This is a reading for Cancer, wherever Cancer shows up in your chart. And of course, if you haven't already, I would absolutely love it if you subscribe to my channel. I say that like in the beginning because I will forget. Hold on, let me help my dog on he like hurt his back leg the other day randomly. I don't know what happened, but so I'm like not letting him jump up and down on stuff. So anyway, what was I even saying? Yeah, so part of me is like, well, I mentioned that in the beginning because if it's like your first time here, right, you're probably like, yeah, let me see. Let me see how this goes first. But like I said, like I will forget. So I won't mention it later on. So anyway, this is a 3-card spread. The first card is your current energy or what's currently surrounding you. The second card is energy that's leaving or that is no longer serving you. The third card is the energy that's coming in or will be available to you. And then, of course, we will clarify each one of those cards with another card. I don't take the jumpers for this spread, but, I love when the cards are chatty. As I say that, they're like, fine. So, yeah, let me shuffle a few more times here. And then we'll get your spread out. Okay, for Cancer. There we go. All right, current energy. The Sun card, love it. What's leaving? The Hanged Man. Hell yeah. What's coming in? The Ace of Pentacles. Absolutely. Why am I cussing a lot? Not that I don't, but... And then to clarify the Sun card, we have the 3 of Swords. K. To clarify the Hanged Man, we have the 9 of Cups. Interesting. And to clarify the Ace of Pentacles, we have the 5 of Pentacles. Very interesting. Because it's like... Each one of these... positions, right? It's like this quote unquote good card with a quote unquote less good card. So, balance? Is that what that is? Oh, you have to laugh sometimes. So, we start with the Sun card. It's interesting because like as I was shuffling, I was like being reminded that Mars retrogrades back into Cancer today. And I believe it's going to be there until like effing April, like back in Cancer. I don't know if it's going to be retrograde until April. Hold on. No. Okay. So, okay. It went retrograde on December 6th. It'll go direct on February 23rd. But it'll be in the sign of Cancer until April. And also, it was already in there, right? So, like, wherever Cancer is for you, like the themes of that house could be having some oomph put behind it. Or, retrogrades, they talk about revisiting, going back over things, to make sure you're crossing the T's, dotting the I's. So again, right, whatever house Cancer is for you, those themes would be coming up. But the reason why I bring that up is because the Sun is a card of Leo, and obviously Mars went into Leo, then it retrograded, right? And it's going back into Cancer, or it did today, I believe. And then, of course, at some point, once it goes direct in February, it'll eventually make its way back to Leo. So I just wonder if, like, the next, literally 4 or 5 months, there's just going to be, like, some ups and downs. in the sense of like there could just be things that are being brought to your attention because the energy is available now to deal with them. Because Mars is like, no, like we're gonna handle this, right? Like we're not just gonna kind of keep doing whatever we're doing, like, the time is now type of thing. So, again, like with the sun card, I mean, the sun is like the best card in the tarot, really. It's joy, it's bliss, it's happiness, rejuvenation, rebirth is usually like a word associated with it too. I mean, truly, like things cannot grow without sunlight, right? I mean, I guess they can, but that's getting into semantics. So it's interesting because, it's paired with the Three of Swords. So there could be just a focus. And of course, because the sun is an illuminary, right? And in the zodiac, like our sun sign is like our personality, like, kind of how we shine, how we present ourselves out in the world, right? And the Three of Swords is about heartbreak and disappointment, rejection, betrayal. But it's swords. So it has to do with the stories that we've attached to heartbreak or disappointment or rejection, right? It's like the beliefs that we have around those things. So to me, like this would signify healing. All this shit actually signifies healing, but this is like moving some big stuff around, like truly, if you wanted to, the energy is available here for you to do some really deep, really meaningful healing, and like making practical changes in your life. It could also, of course, like be too that you will experience periods of joy and periods of bliss, and really make sure that you are recognizing those things and that you are being present in those things. And you might experience also too like this heartbreak. This more so feels like grieving though, doesn't it? Like the more that I look at it, this also reminds me of Practical Magic with the roses when they bury that guy in the backyard, So maybe there's a message in Practical Magic if you haven't watched it in a while. And not to mention anyway, too, we have a blonde and a brunette. I mean, the sisters, wasn't one blonde and the other was brunette? So that's interesting. I mean, this could be two different people experiencing two different things, because, okay, oh my gosh. This is so wild. Even just mentioning that. Okay, so in the Sun card, there's a blonde. In the Three of Swords, brunette. In the Nine of Cups, there's a blonde. In the Five of Pentacles, there's a brunette. How interesting. I mean, again, like it could be two different people, but then I got an image in my head, like if you are like if you're naturally darker colored hair, but you bleach it or you lighten it, it's interesting because like one version of you could be experiencing one thing, the other version of you could be like experiencing a different thing. I don't know. That's so crazy. But anyway, like I said, like in this Three of Swords though, it does feel like grieving. So, I'm a huge proponent for grieving. Actually, I think a lot of the reasons why we have a hard time working through some of our stuff, our traumas, our shadows, is because we don't give ourselves space to grieve that part of us. And it takes a good amount of energy and emotion to do that. So, I mean, I get it. But anyway, I think that it's interesting that it could even be like, putting on a happy face, but inside just not feeling very good. Like, you know, like you could really be going through something, but literally nobody knows because you're putting on a smile, you're telling people, you know, everything is fine. It's just, that's interesting. And then what is leaving is the Hanged Man and the Nine of Cups. This almost kind of feels like waiting for, you know, things to magically work themselves out without having to be involved in the work of that, right? Because, you know, the Hanged Man, we can see that they're suspended, they're upside down, right? Hanging, you know, from the tree branch. I mean, it doesn't really look like they're stressed by any means, but they're also not actively getting themselves out of that, which they could if they wanted to, right? So, you know, the Hanged Man is like willful suspension because you are actively participating in, you know, the delay or being in limbo. But however, though, right, like the point of being upside down is to see things from a different perspective. Yeah, I mean, I think I probably said it before, like waiting for somebody to come along, because that's kind of how this card to me feels anytime that I see it. It literally looks like this person is like waiting because they're right in the middle of this path, right? And it just looks like they're waiting for somebody to come along and help them get out of these. But also this reading has been like so interesting so far. Like I cannot remember a reading like this that I've done like recently. So thank you for the journey. I mean, we're not even done. But as I'm sitting here looking at this card, right? Or these two cards, really. And the Hanged Man, I mean, it does look like a masculine figure, right? Just the illustration looks like a masculine. So again, right? Like if you have been waiting for that like proverbial knight in shining armor, you know, they're hung up. They're like and whatever that is, like it's either, you know, they're hung up in their own stuff, or you know, it's their perspective needs to shift, something there. And too, like the other thing that was coming to me as I was like, again, just sitting here, you know, just kind of sinking into these cards, like, because the Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. It is having your desires met. It is, you know, having the life that you dreamed of. I mean, we can see this girl is like blowing on the dandelion or whatever, like making a wish, right? And also nines are individual. So it's like your life, your how you want to spend your day to day. Like it's, you know, the 10 of Cups is when we start dealing with family and community and everybody being okay. But first, got to make sure that our star player is, you know, taken care of. So I was also just like getting this feeling of, because this is in the position of what is leaving with the Hanged Man. Like maybe you have just been really even kind of shifting your own perspective of what it is that would make you happy. Like, you know, maybe a couple months ago, a year ago, whatever, your quote unquote dream life looked completely different than it does now. And that could also even be because like maybe there were things that you had to let go of. There were ideas, there were beliefs, there were, you know, whatever, with the Three of Swords that you have had to grieve and let go of. And that did have something to do with like your overall happiness. And this would be saying that like you're still kind of in the thick of things, still working through that. And then, you know, like I said, with the Hanged Man and the Nine of Cups, like, you know, with that being the energy of what is leaving, There might just be, it's like the example that came to my head is how like years ago, every year I would have, like a New Year's resolution, right? And then I stopped doing that. Because I just kept not sticking to it, not doing it, not, like whatever. And it just didn't really feel good. So instead, it's like, I'm just going to see how it goes. I'm just going to keep an open mind. I'm not going to make like specific plans, like there, it's having an idea in your head, like, this is the way that I want to feel. These are the goals that I want to accomplish. Right? Like, this is where I want to potentially see myself by the end of the year, by, the end of 5 years, whatever. But it's like, instead of being more, I keep wanting to say stringent, but I'm not even sure if that is like the right word. Yeah, I guess. I literally Googled it. I mean, strict, right? Like, only this thing is going to bring me joy and happiness, and like, it's going to make my life better. Like, instead of being like so, you know tuned into like just a one way of doing things, like, this could be saying that you're opening your mind, opening your heart, even since we have the Nine of Cups. The Hanged Man, I believe, is Neptune. So that's also cups, like emotions, right? And then like we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles over here, which again, right? It's like this good card, not so good card. Good card, not a bad card, but like not necessarily like a good. And then over here we have a good card with again, like a not so good. So it's like, again, it could just be things are feeling like a bit of a roller coaster. Like in your physical world, you could be about to be experiencing some goods and some not so goods, because the Ace of Pentacles is good, right? It's a new opportunity. It could be a new job. It could just be, like a new source of income, a new position. There could be even something to do with your health, of course, because Pentacles have to do with our body too. Your energy, your time, literally anything tangible, anything that we place worth and value on, that encompasses Pentacles. And too, like in the Ace of Pentacles, there are these two, I don't even know what they're called, fairies or whatever, that are like part of the tree. Here, if you can see that. And it feels like there's like a sense of protection there. And even in the Five of Pentacles, they are still in the tree. So it's interesting because like the Five of Pentacles talks about lack and scarcity. And of course, like I want to take a positive beat on this. Like I want to put like a positive spin. I mean, I guess we can talk about both potentials like with this outcome. Because this new opportunity could be healing that lack and scarcity mindset that has been around, that some people are, like just privy to. It could also be because there was this decision made over here of like, again, just not being so strict in your vision, but just having more of an open mind and open heart to the possibilities of how something could work out in your favor. Whatever this Ace of Pentacles is, again, like it could heal some sort of lack or scarcity within you. Like if you have had a worry about money or finances, if there has been something going on with your health, then it's like this Ace of Pentacles would provide like what is needed in order to heal that. It also is like giving me this sense of like, if they just like looked around this tree, right? They would see this Ace of Pentacles, because I'm just looking at like the colors back here. So, just sitting here worrying, right? Being cold, kind of just like a little resolved, like, you know. But again, if they were to just like look around this tree, they would see this opportunity there. At least like that was, kind of the feeling that I was getting. Because again, like that Ace of Pentacles could provide the financial security that the Five of Pentacles is lacking. Also, too, like, just kind of on the other side of things, it's a great lesson in material possessions not determining your worth type of thing. So there could be just a big revelation or process that you go through that has to do with what you place value in, how you value yourself too. Even the opportunities that you go after, it could be unexpected, expenses, but also like with it paired with the Ace of Pentacles, it's like you are going to have the money to do it. You're going to have the resources if an unexpected expense came up. But I mean, who wants to spend their money on something unexpected? Right? It's like, man, I just saw this video the other day. This chick on TikTok was like, I just saved, I don't know what it was, $3,000 or $5,000. I can't remember. She's like, I just got there. And then something happens to her car and the repair cost is going to be like $2,000. And she's like, fuck, like I just accomplished this goal that I set in place, but now I have to fork out all this money and I'm kind of back to saving it up again. And I just remember, like, first of all, I would feel the same exact effing way. Just what a disappointment, like you have this great thing happen and then it's like, boom. But also at the same time, thank fuck she has that much money saved up in order to pay for that. I mean, she can replenish her savings. But I mean, imagine like if she didn't have that money already saved and the impact if she can't drive her car and, what would that do with her job or having to try to find, transportation or putting it on credit and then, spending that much more money in interest and blah, 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 which again, like I know is so hard to think about, like when you're in it. Believe me, it would take me days to be able to like come to that conclusion, and be like okay with it. But so yeah, I mean, that could be something. Last thing I'll say about the Ace of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles is that, whatever this new opportunity is for you, it may mean leaving something behind that was a sense or a source of security for you. And it could also mean potentially disappointing somebody, right? Because let's say, like you find a new job, that means you have to quit the current job where you're at, right? And sometimes that can be difficult to do. Depending on your relationship with the job, how long you've been there, how much they rely on you, whatever, right? It's almost kind of like a breakup. And if you're, sometimes uncomfortable, even like with breakups, right? But yeah, because Ace of Pentacles, something new, Five of Pentacles, it's that scarcity, it's the lack, it's, feeling left out in the cold. So again, just this feeling of potentially disappointing somebody or, leaving somebody high and dry. But I don't necessarily think that's like gonna happen. But also it's not your responsibility to figure out, right? Like your responsibility is to focus on this new opportunity that you've no doubt been manifesting to. But again, like there's this constant like back and forth happening with you guys. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, because it doesn't really feel like 3 steps back, but it's just, There's still forward momentum, but whether that is because of like Mars doing its thing, or some other transit that's like happening right now too, it's not bad. It's just be aware of that, and just really allow yourself to like flow through it. I feel like this reading has been long as hell. I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.